Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Humanitarian Transformation Network by Candace. Okay, there we go. I want you guys to see my background. Hold on, y'all. I want to turn on my lights. I like my lights when I go on the show. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Humanitarian Transformation Network by Candace. Today, we are going to be discussing human rights, articles 8, 9, and 10. And then we'll elaborate on 8, 9, and 10 after. Okay, so we're going to start. Hope everyone is having a blessed day or night. And I hope everyone finds this information informative. And thank everybody for joining. Our first article is 8, and it states everyone has the right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental rights granted him by the Constitution or by law. Okay, that's 8. I'm just read them all and then we're going to elaborate on all this. Article 9 states, no one shall be substituted to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. And then we have Article 10. Article 10 states, everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his rights and obligations and of any criminal charge against him. So those are 8, 9, and 10. Now let's elaborate on 8, 9, and 10. In common sense in the 21st century. And I'm going to talk about the attacks against this, say, Native Americans, because there was a situation in regards to the pipeline that they wanted to build on the Native American, land that they were living on. And I don't understand, some people in power with money think they can just come and disrupt people's lives. These are people's livelihoods. This is how they want to live. They want to keep their culture. They want to keep their land. It is not right for people with money, greed, and power to come disrupt another human being's livelihood. This is how they want to live. This is how they want to raise their children. So I don't understand why people feel it's necessary for their own greed and their own power. Yes, I know that we need to, expand, you know, um, you know, technology and all of that to make it better for, humanity. But there's other means and ways to go about it. You don't come disrupt a human being's livelihood and a family that have been on that land for God knows how long. Okay, you don't come disrupt that. Who are you to do that? You are a human being. Would you like someone to come disrupt your family in your home? No, you would not. You would be quite upset if someone knocked on your door and says, we're going to take your house because we need to build a mall here, or we need to build a stadium here. And that goes on gentrification as well. It is not right for another human being who has money, greed, and power. Oh, we need to build this to fill our pockets. Okay? Humanity was not built upon money, greed, and power because we were all born human beings. So another human being has no right to come disrupt your home and your life and your family for their own greed. And that's what I'm seeing. The world is big. There's a lot of land all over the place. Okay, you drive through some of these states and some of these countries. There's a lot of land for everybody. Okay, if you want to build a mall somewhere else. Don't come disrupt somebody else's home and somebody else's family. Okay, especially the poor. Okay, because if you come disrupt the poor, where are they going to go? Are you going to help them get another home? And even if they do want another home, They want to stay where they're at. If anything, you help them build up their land, to better their families. Okay, not come build a mall and tell them, oh, we're taking this over because of money, greed, and power. There's a lot of land for everybody to do whatever they feel. Okay, so I don't think it's right. So people need to understand that people with money, greed, and power, just because of the profession that they chose, okay, uh, you are no different than the next human being. Okay, just because you chose to be a developer doesn't make you, and you have money, does not make you, uh, it doesn't make it right per se. Let me say that it doesn't make it right for you to come in and say, "Oh, I want to build a mall here," or you have board members or whatnot. We're going to disrupt this whole community, and we're going to tell them we're going to, tear down all their houses, and we're going to uproot their whole family. Okay, and not even help them get uprooted, and then some of them don't even want to stay because some of their these properties have been, you know passed on from generation to generation. They want to stay there. So who are you as another human being? And a lot of people don't understand, just because you chose a profession does not make you better than the next person. Okay, that's just a profession that you chose. That's the career path that you chose. That does not make you better than the next person. Just because you have more education than the next person does not mean that you can go do things to people because you have a certain status and a certain uh, 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 authority per se. That you are a human being. Okay, you're gonna live and you're gonna die, just like the next one. You can die an accountant, you can die a judge, you can die a police officer, you can die a maid, you can die anything. That's just a profession that you chose. It gives you no right to go and uproot people because of your own greed and the money that you want to put in your pockets. Okay, you think about the next human being. A lot of people have no hearts out here. A lot of people have no souls. A lot of people don't care about another human being. And we need to correct this problem, is from what I'm seeing. And then as well, let's go on to, I think it was Article 9. And I've dealt with this personally. I'm not going to talk about it, but some people in higher positions do not need to be in higher positions because they're not working for humanity. They're working for their own prejudices, put it like that. And discrimination is what they're working for. Not all people are bad people. And no one is perfect. If you sit up here and say you're perfect, you're lying to yourself because no one is perfect. And just because, like I said before, just because you chose a certain career path, that you have a higher authoritative position, does not mean that you can go around treating people any way that you want to. Okay, who are you to think that you can treat another human being because of the money that you have or the career path that you chose? You are a human being as well, because everybody has one life. And we are all human beings with different color, races, and creeds. So you do not have the authority to treat anybody inhumanely or unjustly because of your own, or you're trying to cover something up. Okay, there's a lot of I'm gonna say it, a lot of judges, a lot of lawyers out here, they cover a lot of stuff up. Okay, or if you're in a higher position and you're covering stuff up, you're going to lose your pension, because all the lies and deceit. And let me tell you, lies and deceit will catch up with you. What goes on in the dark always comes to light. Okay, no matter how high of a position that you hold, what goes on in the dark will come out in the light, because you are not faithful to humanity. You are not fair and just to humanity. You are not fair and just to another human being that has a life, that has a right to life. There's a lot of, well, thank God there's new technology out there, because there's Kim Kardashian, for example, got a lot of people out of prison that were tried unfairly, that were that shouldn't have even been there at all, because of, you know, oh, we have to pin it on somebody. Somebody has to be held accountable, instead of finding the right person that did it, taking the right time to find the right person that did the crime. You do not exile people, you do not hurt people and harm people until you have all the facts and the evidence against that person. It is called a paper trail. I am a prior accountant. I understand paper trails. Okay, there is always paper trails. There is always uh, ways to dot the I's and cross the T's. You do not unjustly accuse somebody of doing something when you don't have all the facts in place. Okay, you have to have all the facts in place. Now, if you have all in place and you're definitely sure about it, hey, I understand. Okay, people need to be held accountable, but a lot of people have been charged with things that they shouldn't be charged with. Okay, because of, oh, we have to pin it on somebody. Judges, oh, we have to pin it on somebody. You are a human being, okay? Just like that person that is being uh, unfairly and unjustly charged. So you have to be mindful when you hold these positions that you are being fair and just to humanity. Okay, that is your job, humanity, to treat people accordingly, not as everyone is not a criminal. Okay, um, and make sure if they are, that you have all the proper evidence in place to charge them and hold them accountable for their actions. Now, I'm all for that. You charge them, for, the crimes that they committed, but be sure and don't just be doing it for fame and fortune and just to win a case, and because there's a lot of, lawyers out there and judges out there that are crooked, and even organizations that are crooked. You're hiding stuff. You're supposed to be helping humanity, but you're hiding stuff. So how can you how can you have any integrity about yourself and morals and have any ethics about yourself when you are hiding stuff? You are being deceitful to people. If you are being deceitful to people, and it might not be at that moment, but at some point you're going to be held accountable. If not in this lifetime, when you leave the earth, you remember, we all live and we all die. So when you leave the earth, you might not be held accountable for your actions now, but when you leave the earth, okay, you have a maker when you leave the earth. And it's up to you how you want to be judged. You can be judged on earth or you can be judged after life. So you have to be mindful of your own actions. Just because you hold a certain status or you're trying to meet some type of quota, you treat people as a human being, because that's what they are. They are human beings. Your profession does not make you more powerful than the next human being. That's just your career. That's just a job you chose. You cannot down somebody because they chose another profession. Now, if someone's doing some criminal activity, that's a whole nother story. They need to be held accountable. I understand that. But there's a lot of things going on to this day, the lying, the stealing, the cheating, being deceptive towards one another, financial misappropriation. I'm a socioeconomic researcher. I've seen it. The people are being treated like cattle. Okay, that not like human beings. And we are all human beings. We all were born, okay, as an infant baby, and we all grew up to be grown adults, okay, choosing professions. And some people think because they're fortunate enough to have went to Yale, Harvard, MIT, because their family, they were born into wealth. And then they look down on people that weren't born into wealth and weren't, some people, have made it out, God bless all of them, to be able to go to those type of colleges, to have those prestigious careers. But that doesn't make them less human, because they weren't able to do that, because they could not afford that, or their families could not afford to put them through that, in that type of college. That doesn't make them less of a person. And that doesn't give you the right, because you have that opportunity and you have a higher status than that person. That does not give you the right to look down on another human being, because we are all human beings. Okay, we lay down and get up the same way. And we are all looking for the pursuit of happiness, no matter what profession that we choose. That is your profession. That's it. Okay. And if you are blessed to have a college degree and and have a better career, that doesn't give you the right to look down on other people, because you're not perfect either. Okay, no one's perfect. And matter of fact, I know a lot of people, and I don't say a lot of people, but I've met a lot of people in high prestigious areas, and they do think that they're better than the next one, and they think other people are uneducated, which is untrue. And because what they don't understand is, you can have all the book smarts in the world, but there's three things that you need to survive in the world. You need book smarts, you need common sense, and you need street sense. A lot of people that have book sense don't have common sense, and they don't have street sense. You need all three things to survive in life. Money is only going to take you, money and prestige is only going to take you to a certain level. Okay. And to me, I don't care how much book smarts that you have, and unless you have experienced things and experienced life and went through things, it doesn't hold anything to life experiences. Life experiences hold more than a PhD, because they actually lived it. They've actually been through it. They've actually done it. It holds more than a prestigious college degree from Yale, MIT, or any other university out here. You can have all the book smarts, but when you get down to the street part and life experience part and the common sense part, a lot of people don't have that. And they don't understand that. That's why they don't understand people. But they hold these high prestigious positions, but you don't even understand people. You can't even communicate with another human being. You look down on human beings because they don't hold the prestige degree that you have. You look down on them. But that person can teach you something because they have been through it. They have experienced the life experiences that you haven't. Okay? So a lot of people need to understand that. So let me see. Do I want to talk about 10? Yes. And everyone should be treated fairly. Okay? Equally. Because a lot of people don't understand that when you weren't born a judge. You weren't born a police officer. You weren't born a governor. You weren't born a politician. You weren't born none of that. And everything, you know, that your prestigiousness holds does not make you better than the next person. Because you hold these higher power positions, you think you're better than everybody. No, you're not, because you're not perfect either. That's just a career path that you chose. Even a doctor. Just because you're a doctor does not make you better than the next human being. You're just That's just a profession that you chose. And I explained this. I had some girlfriends. One, so she's a police officer, and then I had then she turned detective, and then another one that's she was a lieutenant, and they would invite me to their police functions, and we were all just normal people. We were all just normal people, human beings, enjoying ourselves. That's all it was about. I wasn't worried about, they're police officers, this and that and the other. No, I was not worried about their job, their career, the profession they chose. And they weren't worried about mine. I chose to be an accountant, okay? And so they didn't look at me that way. They looked at me as a human being, as a friend. That's how they looked at me as. And a lot of you get that wrong because you think you're better than the next person. You're supposed to help humanity. if you have those high power positions, you're supposed to help humanity. You're supposed to rehabilitate humanity. You're supposed to help your fellow uh, human being or fellow American or fellow, whatever country you're in. You're supposed to help them, rehabilitate them, because people went through traumas in their life. Okay, everybody went through traumas. They might have not had that wealthy family, and they went through a lot of traumas in their life that has affected their life. And instead of giving them rehabilitation, okay, you want to throw them under the bus and look at them as a less of a human being because of the position you hold. No, it is not about that. Okay, it's about helping elevate another human being and heal another human being from the traumas that they have been through in their lives. Okay, you can't condemn them because, like for instance, because I talk about this as well, and I notice this too. Some people need some people in these higher positions. You need to put yourself in some of these people's shoes. Okay, what if you were born into a low income family? What if you were, by no choice of your own, because you weren't able to get a substantial job to afford your living expenses, or like in my case, I had a medical situation that it was unforeseen, that I got sick. I got severely sick and I was on my deathbed. So I went from being a professional down to nothing. Okay, and had to restart and rebuild my whole life and I had to heal myself. So, you put yourself in, those people's type of shoes. What would you do? And then if you're subjected to living in an environment that you never lived in before, you have to learn how to adapt. And if you can't adapt, you start losing yourself. You start losing your soul. You start losing everything about you that it used to be, because you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to rehabilitate yourself. You don't know. So what do? You're down there with other people that are lost as well. And then what are they doing? They're subjected to doing drugs, becoming mentally ill. But then you disrespect them. Okay, you look down on them instead of putting them into rehabilitative type of services. This is what they need. They need real rehabilitative services so they can elevate themselves back to who they were. Okay, better than who they were, actually. Not who they were, better than who they were. This is what you're supposed to do if you hold these type of higher positions, not look down on humanity. Okay, I don't look down on the next person. I want to find out why they are the way they are. What happened? What do they need to get out of the situation that they need? So a lot of people do not understand. That's why we have a lot of this mental illness, because people are looking at people. Oh, you're mentally ill. It's your fault. Oh, it's everything that's happened is your fault. It's all their fault. Instead of getting to know that person and trying to help that person get out of the situation and the mental illness that they're dealing with. Okay, what happened? How can we help to get you back to some sense of normalcy in your life? This is what we need. We don't need other human beings looking down on other human beings because they didn't come from where you came from. And so you think, oh, I'm better than them. Oh, they're just pieces of crap. And when I was running for U.S. Congress, that was one of the things that I've noticed. That when I was running for U.S. Congress, I noticed that I was very passionate and still passionate about is helping rehabilitate and getting people off the street, back into some type of normalcy. I actually created a program, a housing program, to get people off the street. How can people rehabilitate and take proper medication and get their mind, body, and soul right when they're living on the street? Imagine yourself living in a tent. Imagine yourself laying on the hard concrete. And instead of looking at it that way, you look down at people because you hold this high prestigious position, and I have money, power, and it's all about me. It's all about self-preservation because I have this. Okay, I went to Yale, and I went to Harvard, and I went to MIT, and I went to here, and I can look down on people. I'm better than people. No, you cannot. You're a human being, just like that person is. Okay, they weren't fortunate like you. So, anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I hope people understand where I'm coming from, because this is what's happening. Other people are not treating other human beings like human beings. Instead of treating them like human beings, you look down on them because they don't have what you have. They don't have the education that you have. Well, they're not fortunate. You don't know if they went through molestation when they were growing up. You don't know if their parents were drug addicts when they were growing up. You don't know that person's life story. Okay. And instead of helping them, you look down on them. And then you just want to throw them away like a piece of trash, and not knowing that they are a human being and they deserve a chance in life. Everybody deserves a chance in life. Let them get a career. Let them get a trade. Teach them how to live a fulfilling life. Allow them to live their pursuit of happiness. Okay? I hope everybody enjoyed Articles 8, 9, and 10 of Human Rights Education by Candace in the Humanitarian Transformation Network. Everyone, have a blessed night or day wherever you're located. Love and light. Good night.